What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. For those that are tuning in for the first time, welcome. My name is Ricky. I run the largest YouTube channel and the largest private Facebook group for those who trade in the stock market. Our Sunday stock talks are when we come together as a team and we simply break down the stocks that you guys see value in. So all I ask you to do is to post it in the ticker call out format. You're going to see what the ticker call out format is in just a little bit with Ismail sharing the format. So please, I just want to make sure that you do your own due diligence first before asking for my 2 cents on what I think about the stock that you see value in. So that's the biggest thing. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that this is just where we get to connect with one another. I share my opinion about the stock that you see value in, and it's simply just that. So take it as you know it goes. And yeah, that's really just it. So late today, I know. I'm not feeling too good, but it's because I haven't eaten very well. So I went to Pollo Loca. I got myself a Pollo Bowl, and I'm really hungry, but we have to do this live stream. So I really do appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy Sunday, and just instead of like spending time with your family or anything like that, just spending time with me. So for the next 25-30 minutes, we're going to be breaking down stocks that you guys see value in, and I really hope that I earn your thumbs up in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. All right, so I'm ready when you guys are. Here we go. Alrighty, just let me know what the ticker is. Let's see. Here we go, ticker symbol. So what's going on, Darwin? Thank you again for tuning into the Sunday Stock Talk. ICPT. So ICPT, here we go. Okay, so I definitely see why it is that this one is being called out. It was showing signs of an uptrend. You can see the overall SMA line, which is this green line right here, was indicating signs of an uptrend, right? It was, obviously pointing up. And then ever since it broke below the SMA line, it's really just been consolidating. There has been some points where it's pushed up to highs of 160. Again, I don't care too much about that. This is a pharmaceutical company, so I have a really bad experience with these companies. I don't trade them myself, but that's just my experience and my opinion, which again has no relevance to your trading. I'm just speaking based off of my experience. One thing that I do want to point out is, and I want you guys to help me break this one down. Is this an uptrend pattern, a downtrend pattern, or a horizontal pattern on the past 180 days and the 4-hour chart? What would you guys say? Uptrend, downtrend, or horizontal? Horizontal. What's going on, Jessica? Thank you again for tuning in. So where's it at right now, right? So there's 3 stages of a reversal that we've talked a lot about if you're part of Learn, Plan, Profit, right? There's rejection, right? Consolidation, and confirmation. Where is this at right now? Hey, what's going on, Daniel? What's up? Yeah, so definitely a horizontal pattern. Now, what stage out of the, rejection, consolidation, and confirmation, what stage is this in? Consolidation. It makes sense, right? So sold off very aggressively. Makes sense. Does it make sense on why it sold off? Looking at previous patterns, it normally, based off previous patterns, gets rejected from around, when it's above 110, that's not so much of a good deal. You can see this based off previous price points from 110 to around 16. It tends to get rejected around this area, meaning that normally it doesn't hold for a very long period of time above that price point. What does that tell you? Well, if the pattern repeats itself, which it normally has, is that this is most likely a price range where you probably want to sell, not necessarily buy. So it's not so much of a good deal, right? And normally, based off previous patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to. So repeat that. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to. And that's why confirmation is so important. So it bounced here right around this $90 support. It bounced here right around this $90 support. It bounced here right around this $90 support. And it makes sense on why you're calling this one out and that it has the potential to bounce, right? But now we need to wait for confirmation because right now it got rejected. Now it's no longer selling off. It's just consolidating, right? Second stage. And now we're waiting for confirmation, higher highs. So what are we waiting for? Again, look at previous patterns when it actually began to indicate signs of an uptrend, and it's simply just that. So again, patience goes a long way, especially in the stock market. Still, overall margin of profit, if this were to be a perfect trade from support to resistance, which again, in my opinion, there's never so much such thing as like a perfect trade, or at least to not hope for a perfect trade, but it's a little bit over 26% margin of profit. That's pretty attractive. I actually find this one attractive enough that I'll add it to my watch list. So I really do appreciate you calling this one out, and it looks like we're off to a great start. So let's see, what's this? All right. I just want to make sure that for others that are posting, like Trucker, I really appreciate you guys posting the ticker. But just in respect to other people, please use a ticker call out format and do your own due diligence. So we have Ishmael right here sharing the ticker call out format. So what's going on, Barrett? What's up? What's up? What's up? So IIPR. Here we go. IIPR. I don't know if you guys, how many of you guys remember this one? Do you guys remember IIPR? Remember last Sunday, this thing was around $80. And I made a video also talking about the top swing trades that I saw value in. And this is one that I actually spoke to my little sister about with her little Robinhood account. And she took a position on this one, and it was a green trade. She sold very early just because, again, based off previous patterns, there's a resistance right around $85. So she sold a little bit before $85. But I'm really happy that it played out the way that we expected it. Again, it doesn't always play out that way. So let's just make sure that we understand that. Now looking at the RSI and now looking at the MACD, again, looking at previous patterns, this thing can 100% continue to uptrend. But is it a good deal? So if you want to day trade it because you think the margin of profit is worth it, then great, all power to you, right? But as long as every action that you take, so again, especially for all of our friends that are under the PDT rule, for every action that you take, just make sure that you're doing your part as a day trader or as a short-term swing trader, whatever it is, as an investor, right? That you're doing your part in getting the best deal possible. And right now, IIPR is uptrending. Is it the best trade that you can take advantage of? I like that it's uptrending. It has a very consistent uptrend pattern. It's just a little bit more on the overbought side, where I would just be a little careful, right? It makes sense on why it can pull back. And that's simply what I want to share. I think it's an amazing call out. I think it's performed exceptional, especially since it's been brought to our attention. So from where it was to where it's at right now, it's a little bit over 8% margin of profit, or it's covered over 8%. That's great. But again, it makes sense on why it can pull back. So again, just be patient with your entry and stuff like that. So what's going on, Reynold? I appreciate your mention. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. I sent you a DM on Discord, but did not get a reply. Okay, feel free to send me like an exclamation mark, just in case I overlooked your direct message. We get so many on a daily basis, so I really do apologize. Hope you guys know that I'm not ignoring any of you or anything like that. But here we go. So what's going on, Mick? We got ticker symbol SKX. Here we go, SKX. We're on our third breakdown. What do you guys think about this one? I want to get your guys' opinion on this one. What do you guys think about SKX, right? So it was showing signs of a downtrend over here. So this is Skechers, right? USA. SMA line was downtrending. And then all of a sudden, after its earnings, it began to push up, right? But then after this earnings, had a huge sell-off. So where do you guys stand with this, right? Is this a good dip buy opportunity for a stock that was uptrending? Or is this something that, again, whatever was released during that earnings drove the price down very aggressively, and it's most likely going to continue to sell off? Both are, I think, logical kind of like potential outcomes, right? So right now, if we were to talk about the three stages of a reversal, rejection, right now it's consolidating, so it's no longer selling off aggressively, it's just not uptrending, right? And it's still below the SMA line. So if anything, I would take this day by day. I wouldn't really feel comfortable holding this. But there's no question that the margin is pretty attractive, especially because of where it was trading at around $36 to where it's at right now, especially when it's earnings that drove the price down, just like we talked about Walmart and Target. I don't know if you guys remember that, but Walmart and Target, because of the news that Amazon released with their one-day shipping, it caused the prices for Amazon, for Target and Walmart to go down. But is that going to last for a very long period of time, or is it just a bunch of panic sellers and you can take advantage of that good deal opportunity? Something that you want to ask yourself, right? So I'll set my alert for this one. It makes sense on why this one was brought to your attention, 100%. Now we just want to wait for confirmation of an uptrend, and I would take this day by day. I wouldn't really feel comfortable holding this just because how aggressively it downtrended, and I don't know enough about Skechers, right? SKX, or what is it? Yeah, SKX, to feel comfortable holding this one for a long period of time. So here we go. UKS Wrath, right? Ticker symbol DIS, Disney. There's a lot of you guys that were asking about Disney. Here we go. Holy smokes. Let's see. All right. What was it because? Okay. And a lot of you guys called this out. Can you guys let me know why Disney pushed up so much? Why did Disney push up so much? Do any of you guys have any guesses? Yeah. Did you guys watch that movie, The Endgame? How many of you guys watched it? Streaming services. Okay. Yeah. So you guys can check out also the news section, right? The news section for Disney, and you can see that it passed a record. If I'm not mistaken, on their release, like globally, I think what was it? Over $1 billion, if I'm not mistaken, like 1.2 or something like that. So yeah, there's a series of different factors that drove the price up. Again, there's a lot of attention, there's a lot of hype right now that is being brought to Disney. I think that's great, and I think I'm all for if you understand what's driving the price up. Then great, you can take advantage of those opportunities day by day, especially for such a huge multi-billion reputable company. One of the things that I do want to remind you is that what happens when the news or the attention and all the hype is no longer focused on Disney, right? What normally happens when that, after that happens? So let's just say 1 month, 2 months down the road, right? There's going to be less attention and less hype on Disney, right? So all this momentum that's driving the price up, it makes sense on why it can pull back. And simply on a technical side, you guys could see, this is normally where it trades at. And ever since then, it's been just driving the price up. And now it's at a price point that's extremely overbought. Let's see where it's at. Yeah, it's at a 1-year high. Okay, so it's at all-time high. That's crazy. And I think that's amazing. First of all, I think they did an amazing job with the movie. I'm not here to promote or talk about anything, but actually, I was a huge fan of it. I watched it with our buddies, and it was great. But ultimately, now on the technical, I don't even know why I'm talking about that. But yeah, a lot of you guys are going to most likely start talking about it, but it makes sense then why a lot of short sellers are going to then want to pay attention to Disney if and when it begins to sell off. So just something to pay attention to or to kind of look out for, even if you don't plan on trading Disney. Let's say you want to go long on Disney and continue to hold it, right? I think it's going to be very great for someone to see how news affects a stock just by simply following up with Disney. Set a reminder, I want to follow up with Disney on a weekly basis, especially if you're just getting started, and you will gain real experience of what it's like after something loses that hype and be able to follow up with it and see that the volume and the overall activity is going to be much less, and you'll most likely see the price action follow. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen in a week. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen in a month, right? It just means that over time, as something becomes overbought, it makes sense on why it can pull back. So I just think it'd be interesting for a new trader, someone that has experienced that, to kind of keep a close eye on this. But yeah, 100% showing signs of an uptrend. I would take this day by day because it's so overbought and kind of go from there. So it has its earnings coming up soon, so that's going to be very interesting as well. So HZNP. What is going on? HZNP. Here we go. Yep, nice little uptrend here. So again, this is a pharmaceutical company, right? If I'm not mistaken. Nice little consistent uptrend. I get that, right? It has an up and coming earnings, so just watch out for that. I think that HZNP does a beautiful job trading in between the middle and top view up. This makes it very easy for you to identify your entries and then your exits on when something is overbought or overextended. And it's been doing this for quite some time. It's been uptrending on the 180-day chart, right? And we're approaching the support. So based off previous patterns, it tends to bounce here. It doesn't mean that it has to. And now we're indicating signs of an uptrend. So it makes sense on why now you're paying attention to this. One of the things that I want to remind you is old support levels become new resistance levels. So it bounced before right around $26 and it's approaching that general price point. So just watch out for that. Don't be afraid to lock in profits, especially with the MACD and the RSI already in a little bit more of overbought territory. So maybe we might want to wait for a pullback before it continues to uptrend. So again, just look how it normally trades and just simply follow up with it. So based off previous patterns, if it were to hit highs of $28 again, I could definitely see why from the EMA line to $28, someone would find HZNP attractive, especially on a technical standpoint. I don't know anything about its fundamentals, but on a technical side, especially for the past 180-day chart, definitely makes sense. Now, again, just make sure that you have a plan for success, not just of where you're going to sell for a profit, but also manage your risk if there's a break of pattern and stuff like that. So, good little reminder on that. Here we go. So Dan calling out MCD. MCD. Here we go. What do you guys think about this one? This is McDonald's, right? Yeah. Let me get your guys' help. So we're halfway there. McDonald's, MCD. What do you think about it? So it's showing signs of an uptrend. Overall, SMA line is pushing up, right? Nice little consistent uptrend. I like that. I would take that day by day. But look at the RSI and look at the MACD. What do you guys think? Right? Look at the price point of where it's at and where it normally bounces at for a good deal, and just how overbought it is from this SMA line, right? It makes sense on why it can begin to sell off, especially with these series of different indicators, especially with its up and coming earnings report. So I don't know how it's going to trade during its earnings. Usually during its earnings, all over the place. So a couple months ago, it drove the price up, but then last earnings, it actually drove the price down, and that's what indicated signs of a downtrend, especially when something is so overbought and it comes out with an earnings, even if it ends up hitting its earnings expectation or exceeds it. If it's so overbought and its overall guidance is off, then it will still drive the price down. So again, something to look out for. I personally don't like holding anything, especially during earnings. And Tesla is a perfect example of why maybe you don't want to hold it. So yeah, here we go. All right, Jessica. So COG. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. We'll do a minute chart. Not bad. What are these margins? Okay. All right, so it's a very consistent uptrend pattern. I would say it's pretty volatile. I don't personally like trading things like this. It's just kind of all over the place, and I wouldn't feel comfortable trading it. But I definitely see why, with recent patterns and it recently bouncing off the SMA line, why this would be something of value, right? Especially if it can go from the EMA line to its previous highs. I just want to remind you that out of everything that you're watching in your watch list, is this what you see to be the most consistent, that offers a decent margin of profit? And then on top of that, that's currently actively uptrending for this week. If it is, great, set up a plan, entry, exit, just like you already did. But just make sure you watch out for a potential break of pattern, especially since it just recently went through that recent earnings. So there's something to look out for. How do you differentiate between a 180-day and 4-hour chart? Yeah, so I think it has to do with your approach. When it comes down to day trading, I look at much shorter time frames, so the 1 day, 1 minute, the 5 day, 5 minute, because I want to look at more relevant patterns. But how is it normally or recently trading? If I'm looking in just to understand its overall direction, I think it's a great idea to look at the 20-day, 1 hour, the 180-day, 4-hour, but it'll come with time. It makes sense why, even on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, that if I want to day trade something or scalp something, then I want to look at recent patterns, because that's the most relevant support and resistance. It doesn't mean that you can't look at other time frames to understand its overall direction, and that's why I tend to look at those larger time frames. Here we go. Amazon, NPC. Thank you again for tuning in. Here we go. Amazon, again, a little bit more on the overbought side. You guys know that Amazon's been killing it, consistently pushing up. Earnings went well. There's a lot of attention on Amazon right now, so and the price point of where it's at right now is definitely a little bit more on the overbought side. It does have a nice little margin for it to continue to uptrend, but again, I don't think the margin is huge. This is more of something that I would look at as an investment and as something I would hold for a longer period of time. But as of right now, it's not even a good deal. So I would wait for it to either get closer to the SMA line, to either some form of news that comes out that drives the price down where I can get it for a good deal. So those are the opportunities that I would look for, because Amazon is such a solid company. So yeah. Here we go. UWT, what is going on? Here we go. UWT, let's do 3 more after this. Okay, definitely, I like this one. So it's actively downtrending, right? We've talked about this one multiple times before. Now it's so oversold, right? We've talked about this one a couple days ago when it was selling off pretty aggressively after it peaked out. So this is UWT, which correlates on over to /CL. That's the overall future. So you guys can feel free to check that out if you haven't already. but this is /CL, and if I'm not mistaken, it actually opened. So during my time here in Arizona Mountain Standard Time, even with daylight savings, the futures open back up at around 3 p.m. So they've been going since 3 p.m. my time, and it looks like it's kind of just around that same area of where it closed at. So it was trying to uptrend, now it's selling off, very similar to /NG. So it was showing signs of an uptrend, and it looks like it's peaking out. So we might start seeing a sell-off. So as of right now with UWT, I would go with the flow. It's still selling off, right? So UWT means, it's still selling off on that part as well. So I would pay maybe a little bit more attention. I would still take it day by day, but looking at it, yeah, definitely looks like a good deal, but it's not indicating any signs of a bounce yet. So I would still pay more attention to DWT, which is the inverse ETF. But again, I would take this day by day. It's extremely overbought, extremely overextended, but I'm a true believer in trying to avoid trading against the overall current direction. So I hope that makes sense for those that ask for that breakdown. Here we go. Let's do this one. What's going on, Stin? So AMRH. I personally don't like this one. Very aggressive sell-off. It looks, yeah. So I would not trade this one at all. This is a penny stock, and it looks like it has very low volume. Yeah, so this just isn't something that I would trade. Not even on the technical side, right? It's not. So the easiest way for me to put it is, if you want to grow your account, then you want to trade, right, and invest in patterns that are showing signs of growth. This is not showing any of that. You're hoping either to get lucky that you're getting it for a good deal and something drives the price up. I get it. It only needs to move 3 cents to make 10%. But that means that you could also lose 10% just as quick. So don't just always think about the pros. If anything, I would be more of a defensive trader. I think that would have helped me out a lot more when I first got started. So, but I do appreciate your call out. Here we go. So what's going on, Peter? So we got CWT. Alrighty. Solid uptrend pattern, a lot of consolidation. I'm actually really happy that you called this one out. I don't think I've ever broken this one down. What do you guys think about this one? Is this an uptrend pattern, horizontal pattern, downtrend pattern on the 180-day chart? And is this, what stage of the reversals is this in? Is it selling off, consolidating, or uptrending, right? What do you guys think? Uptrend, right? Overall direction of CWT, you can see that it's been consistently uptrending. I find that to be very attractive. Again, if you want to grow your account, then you want to trade patterns that are showing signs of growth, right? I think we could all agree on that. Who can do a better job trading quality patterns? 100%. Maybe, especially if you're just getting started, maybe trying to avoid anything that's consistently selling off. Yes, it might be, and it might offer a nice little margin of profit. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But if you're seeing that you're losing, and draining your account, and then you look at your charts and you're like, wow, every position that I take is of something that's selling off, then maybe change your approach, right? Maybe trade only patterns that are showing signs of an uptrend, so the overall direction is in your favor. So I like this one. I'm really happy that you called it out. Looks like it has a dividends payout in just a little bit. So we'll set an alert there, and also set an alert to see if it breaks below right around $48. So we'll send another alert if it continues to indicate signs of an uptrend, and I'll actually add this one to my watch list since I find it to be pretty attractive and based off of previous highs. So I'm not going to go all the way up to $55, but to around 54 of where it's at right now, even waiting for confirmation, 7.23%, which definitely isn't too bad. Here we go. So Thomas VWM, wow, VWM. Nope. Come on, Rick. VMW. Alrighty. Very consistent uptrend pattern. So this was kind of iffy, right? But recently, it's been uptrending pretty nicely. Looking at the 1 year chart. Yep. Very consistent uptrend pattern. I like that. There's just no good deal opportunity. And it's definitely a little bit more on the oversold side. Look at the RSI, looks like it's getting ready to descend. So I would try to catch it. So if you look at this pattern, when would it make sense to try to get it for a good deal, right? Right here, when it reverses, right? Or right here when it reverses, or right here when it reverses, not when it's peaking out. So I like that you brought this one to our attention, but now I think it's focusing on when to get in, and to get in at an effective price when that, yes, it's still uptrending, so the pattern is still relevant, that there's no break-if pattern, and that you're still doing your part in putting an effort to get in for a good deal, or being patient enough to get in for a good deal. So I think that this was a great call out. Now we just need to focus a little bit more on our entry. Alrighty, here we go. SPY. So we'll end it with one more after this one. So yeah, we've talked about SPY. Looking at previous overall, highs, you guys can look at /ES, which is a correlating future for SPY, or /NQ for the future for NASDAQ. And you can see that the overall market is extremely overbought. It could continue 100% uptrend, right? But it also makes sense because it's so overbought based off previous patterns on a technical standpoint that we might start, it might not be a bad idea to just take it day by day and to understand that it's not the best to do right now, and to prepare for maybe a change of direction if we start seeing an indication of a sell-off or a change of direction. So yeah, I appreciate that call out. So here we go, CRON. Alrighty, okay. So was showing sign of an uptrend, began to consolidate, selling off, overall SMA line, selling off, downtrending as well. Looks like it's trying to catch a support. It's been trying to make higher highs. The pattern is not consistent enough. I don't trade cron. It's not consistent enough for me to feel comfortable trading this. It doesn't mean that you can't, but as of right now, the SMA line, just like it used to act as a support, now that we're trading below the SMA line, it's most likely going to act as a resistance. So the overall direction is not in your favor. Now you have other resistance levels as well, and it's going to make it a little bit more difficult. Doesn't mean that it's impossible. Anything's possible, right? Just going to make it a little bit more difficult for you to be able to successfully, take that position and then come out green. Here we go. LITE. So this is going to be the last one, and I'm just going to have a little update for you guys, for those that want to stay up to date with what we're doing aside from just trading in the stock market, and what I have planned ready for this week. So I hope you guys could just give me like 5 minutes, and then I'll be talking about that. So LITE was showing signs of downtrend, started showing signs of an uptrend, recently broke below the EMA line. So if it continues to uptrend, then again, set your alerts and see if we begin to make our highs. Great, right? If you find the margin of profit to be worth it, great. I personally don't think 3% is worth something that's so overbought that's most likely bound to pull back. So because of that, I don't think it's that much of a good deal. Looking at previous patterns, it looks like it normally bounces off the SMA line, and I think it's due for a pullback, and it has an up-and-coming earnings report. So you just want to ask yourself, is the margin of profit worth it in comparison to the margin of loss? And are you doing your part and you're putting in the effort to try to get the best deal possible? If so, great. Set up your plan and make sure that you manage that risk. But all right. Well, that was 27 minutes, and I want to thank you guys. Just for those that don't want to stay up to date with what it is that we have going on, I appreciate you guys' time. Hope I earned your thumbs up. Don't forget to join our free Facebook group. The link should be down below. We have over 200,000 members, and we love to stay connected. But for those that can't tune in, what's up, right? I want to talk to you guys for a little bit. What'd you guys do this weekend? So I'll tell you guys what I did. So one of the things, kind of getting an early start to the week. I don't know if you guys remember, but on Friday, I ended up not taking any positions, didn't see value or a margin of profit to be worth it, if that makes sense. Yeah, are you looking at like my back? Yeah, I'm just a little tired. Yeah, so I need to eat better and get more sleep. So that's what I'm going to catch up on this, what's it called? Or at least for Sunday, right? Bought a new car, got myself a Cadillac. I like that. Nice. There's my thumbs up. What's going on, Juan? Swinging Diaz. Okay, so you think that Diaz is going to make a comeback after natural gas pushed up? Kayaking. Nice. Played a gig. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Dominic, congrats. Do you trade options? I do not. No, but thank you for asking. Went to a concert. Nice. Vacation. I like that. Now you're blessed with being able to come back from that vacation and spend time with us. I don't know about you guys, and this might sound super cheesy, but one of the most amazing, trust me, like, I'm not here. Oh, Endgame. Yeah, I like that. One of the things I want you guys to know is that, there's so many things that I enjoy, like, about my life. Super blessed, super thankful. But one of the things that I have to say that is the most, like, surreal thing about what I do and why I enjoy what I do so much is because after, even if I do take a vacation and I come back, I don't dread coming back to work. I talk to the Learn Time Profit group about this all the time. I think mindset is huge, and not just in like being successful, but just as a person, right? And how other people see you, and want to be around you or not want to be around you, is the way that, like, your attitude towards, life. And I think, since people, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as soon as you start trading, right? And if you're excited about it and you have a passion for it, correct me if I'm wrong, but for those that didn't look forward to Mondays, now really, like, look forward to it. It's as simple as that. I don't know about you guys. It's super exciting for me, where I can do whatever it is that I want when it comes down to, like, yeah, we can go have fun, party, vacation, stuff like that. But I love being able to come back and trade, right? And work with the group that we have and stuff like that. I don't know about you guys, but I think that has to be one of the most amazing things about what we do is, and it doesn't even have to be trading. I'm just using that as an example, as in, like, find something that you don't need a vacation from. I think that's the goal. Doesn't matter if it's trading, doesn't matter if it's drop shipping, doesn't matter if it's, buying and reselling gum, or whatever it is, but just a hobby, right? That you think is productive, effective, working towards a greater future, and that you don't necessarily need a vacation from. Of course, vacations are great, but it's fun being able to come back from a fun little trip, but then also look forward to all these stuff. So we got Matthew saying blah blah blah. Okay, I don't know why you're tuning in. This is what I don't understand. When we get people that either dislike the video or post, like, irrelevant comments like that, I just don't get it. It's like, why you spend time, like, with people that you don't like. It seems counterproductive, don't you think? No, Ricky the Savage coming back. Ooh, no. I wish you the best, and I hope you find value in something that doesn't make you such an ugly person. I think that's the goal that you should probably have. Do something better with your life that doesn't upset you, right? Maybe surround yourself with better people. All right, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Again, if you guys want to tune on in to our Learn Plan Profit group, that's the group that I work with every single day. I would love to work with you guys on a closer basis if and only if you guys see value in it. If you guys have 5 minutes, I'd love for you guys to check it out. It should be the first or second link in the description. Feel free to check it out. If you have any questions, direct message me on Instagram or direct message me on Discord. And we do have a couple of discounts. For the Learn Plan Profit course. If you're an active service member, a student, or a first responder, we would absolutely love to offer you a discount. And any questions that you guys might have about our live trading session, what it's like, what's included in the course, what it's like to work with me on a closer basis, you could either direct message me or simply go to our welcome page, which is the first or second link in the description, and everything is explained there. So hope I earned your thumbs up. Matthew, I apologize, didn't mean to offend you, and hope you have a blessed Sunday. So thank you guys again, like always. Let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.